episode of the Red River Rundown. Today it's just me, Boomtown. You know what I'm saying? Boomtown
Boomtown.
in the house. Boomtown. Today, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot to talk about. We are definitely going to be talking about LeBron to Philly because that changes the whole momentum of the NBA. But we're going to start off in the NFL because training camp is among us. Some teams have already reported. Some teams, like the greatest team ever, the Pittsburgh Steelers, will be reporting on Tuesday, and their first practice will be on Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that. But I wanted a quick chance because, like you keep telling people, fantasy football is right around the corner. So let's talk. Isaiah, give us some sleepers. Give us some people that are gonna bust. Pause. And you think they're gonna be real good, and they probably gonna ruin your fantasy season.
I think everybody needs to do the smartest thing possible and wait to the later first rounds to draft Christian McCaffrey. I think everybody, of course,
Nope.
is going. Everybody is going to reach their ass off for two people. That is Jackson Smith and Jigba and Jamar Chase. They're going to be
Are they
really one.
reaches?
I don't. I think the only reason why I say that they're reaches, and don't get me wrong, we know the history of fantasy football. We've been in the game for long enough to understand that, like, the probability of you repeating the success of the season that you had before, it has happened, but it's not as likely as people like to believe or led to believe. So I think JSN is probably top five. Jamar Chase might be one again this year.
Mm-mm.
He still had a good season. I think the biggest ones that people are looking at now, people have got to go running back heavy. I think a couple years ago in the league that you run, Marlon, we had a feller that went and grabbed Derrick Henry at the first round with the fourth pick in the draft. His team wasn't quite as successful, but Derrick Henry had 1,900 yards and 20 touchdowns that year.
Yeah. No,
Looked
he
like
he's
look,
he made the playoffs. Just
oh yeah, looked like a genius in that moment, and we were like, "What the fuck, Derrick Henry on this crazy?" I think I think people also might try to reach for George Pickens in the first round. I think there's a high chance that both Dallas receivers go kind of early, and the only reason why I say that is because George Pickens balled the fuck out, and so people are gonna be like, "We them boys, this is our year. Dak's gonna win MVP. We're gonna." The only people that I can say are sleepers in my actual opinion, I don't know why, but there's something about Jeremiah Love that's like it's enticing me. I'm thinking if we don't have some people that want to absolutely reach for the stars in the first round, I like him in late second, early third. I think Brock Bowers falls off a little bit. Last year, he was going in the first round in a lot of drafts. I think Trey McBride supersedes him. I think Trey McBride's probably, even though the quarterback play is questionable, I think Trey McBride still goes in the first round. I think a lot of people get Michael Wilson this year. They should be smart and get Michael Wilson before they get Marvin Harrison Jr. because, my God, and and I believe in Kyle Pitts again. I believe in him. That's where I'm leaving it at the moment. Achan's gonna go in the first, late first. I think Barkley falls to like middle of the first round. There's a lot of things that I'm thinking of that can happen. Uh, as far as quarterbacks, my sleeper pick for quarterback this year, mark it down. Sleeper pick for quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
okay, look, I'm just letting everybody right now know that Isaiah is hoping that the leagues that we play in, everybody in the league watches and listens. And he's trying to troll everybody into making horrible decisions. He wants people to take Jamar Chase early. He wants people to let Brock fall to him. That's what Isaiah's doing, right? Realistically, the names that should be at the top of everybody's board should be names like Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs. Those should be the first one or two. Jamar Chase is a nice name because you understand even without Joe Burrow, he's going to be solid. Maybe he doesn't have the high ceiling that he did with Joe Burrow with other quarterbacks, but he's still, man, he carried. You know what I'm saying? JSN can be nice. We have to see if last year wasn't a fluke, because NFL, you can say whatever you want to. That's like looking at a trilogy of movies, and the third movie is produced by a whole different company, and you could tell that like the CGI effects and everything, and it's just like, and then the fourth one they go back to the original, and it's just like that doesn't belong there. Like that's it could be that. I don't know if George Pickens goes in the first. I think George Pickens goes in the second. CD slides a little bit. I think everybody understands that CD is going to get a big target share, but I think that CD was looked at as a top half of the first round, is where people would take a swing. I don't think he's that going into this year because of George Pickens. I think CD back into the first round, depending on how many players you have in your league. The second half of the first round is probably going to be something like Jonathan Taylor. Some of the running backs that fell, because we know people are going to take Christian McCaffrey in the first round, because it's hard not to. How can you not want to? Even if you don't, how can you not want to? How can you? It's like Prize Picks every week. People try to talk about fantasy and Christian McCaffrey like it's you should have knew better. And it's like, yeah, well, bro, I don't see you hitting 5-leg parlays either.
Yeah.
So,
God damn it.
Yeah, like
he's one of the few people in NFL history to have 1,000 receiving and rushing in the same season.
And I'm sorry, when I don't take a chance on somebody, they go crazy. That's all. You know what I'm saying? So and I know as soon as I take a chance on you, it's over, right? I don't think I've had a good combo at my first wide receiver since I took Antonio Brown in like 2019 or pre-COVID, right? PC was a different time. PC is pre-COVID, you know what I'm saying? AC is after COVID, or BC is before COVID, you know what I'm saying? But before COVID or after COVID, that I haven't hit like that in the first round. Now, there is a league, you know what I'm saying? Because Isaiah tried to troll y'all, and he ain't never won fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah ain't never won fantasy. But your boy here has won fantasy, and not just once, but there's two of them, right? So I have the hardware, and I just wanted to let people understand that. But look, I don't really think there's many sleepers this year. I don't think, because you said Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love would be like, he's one of those maybe end of second round that you can just say, hey, bro, like Jeremiah Love, maybe the Cardinals are going to be bad, but he's going to catch a million checkdowns. He's going to catch a million checkdown passes. So it's a smart pick. The Cardinals aren't going to be good, but maybe Jeremiah Love is a good sleeper where he gets a lot of targets, he gets a lot of carries, and maybe after they're down by 40, he breaks off a big run or he catches a nice pass and goes 30 and scores a touchdown to save your week.
That's why I mentioned I think Michael Wilson could be an actual true sleeper at your wide receiver 2. I'm also looking at like you got the top tier guys. You know, you got CD, you got Jamar, you got Puka, you got, you can even throw in Devontae Adams to possibly, still have a high touchdown share in the red zone again. But where does Jettas lie with all this?
I think this is a year for Jettas, because last year is probably the worst quarterback play we're going to see Jettas get for the rest of his tenure in Minnesota. If it's anywhere close to last year, it's over. He's out of there. I think Kyler is better than what they had. Do I think that Kyler Murray is a superstar? Absolutely not. Am I saying that he is transcendent, like on some Cam Newton, I can go to a bad team and take them to a Super Bowl, even if we don't win? You have to admire my greatness to get this historically bad franchise to the Super Bowl. Kyler's not that. But can Kyler be Sam Darnold? Bro, why not?
To a degree, yeah.
Yeah, why not? Because, like, pre-Sam Darnold getting to Minnesota, did you think that – was there any consistent film on Sam Darnold for you to just be like, he can win the Super Bowl in 25, the 25 season with the Seattle. No, nobody thought that. Everybody was just like,
No.
yo, Colin Cowherd's been glazing this dude forever, and we understand he's not that. He's not Josh, and he's not Lamar. He's not going to be an MVP quarterback. And it's like, yeah, but you can win Super Bowls without having MVP quarterbacks. Teams have been doing it forever. The Steelers have not had a MVP quarterback since Terry Bradshaw. We've won 2 of them. We've went to 4. You know what I mean? Like, you don't like.
Yeah.
I think Kyler can do that. He can manage.
I'm looking at other teams where like the offense has some question marks.
You want me to glaze for a second?
Okay.
Maybe 5th, 6th round. Michael Pittman Jr. Michael Pittman Jr. will be a solid target. People are looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers offense and they automatically assume DK Metcalf is going to benefit from it. Truthfully, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to benefit from it the most. Michael Pittman is what he wants. He's the guy that's going to go across the middle. He's going to have a connection with him. He's going to make the big time 3rd down plays to extend drives. He's going to probably be his safety valve. And again, you're thinking about fantasy and what you want in 2 different lights. I truthfully think Michael Pittman Jr. as a wide receiver 2 on a fantasy team is, if you do well with your running backs and you get 2 running backs, if you're in a 2 running back league, if you get 2 running backs that are nice, Michael Pittman Jr. is a wide receiver 2 that can get you by.
I think so too. And that's where you could say he's a sleeper, because if you're looking at the other wide receiver 2 spots, you're looking at like, Pickens, Addison. You're looking at, people might reach and try to get Mekhi Lemon before they try to get Michael Pittman Jr. just because he's got upside. Because Devontae Smith is truly not a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver 2, but he's really like a 1B.
Can we rabbit hole?
Yeah.
You want a rabbit hole?
We rabbit hole.
Is there any world that you see Devontae Smith having a breakout season similar to JSN last year? JSN was in the shadows. As DK's team, Tyler Lockett had been a long-time staple. We understood when DK left, we knew that it was like, all right, when Tyler Lockett got up out of there, we were like, what are they doing? Like, oh, are they just punting? And now we see they didn't punt. They knew JSN had it. So is there any world that Smitty gives us that explosion where teams aren't even just ready for him, similar to like what we seen with JSN last year?
I think because he has less of an ego than what kind of clouded that team with AJ Brown. Like, they were so complimentary to each other. I could see it being a breakout, but also it really hinges on the other group. Are the other receivers around him going to pose a threat? Because at points in the season, JSN was getting doubled, and old reliable, old Cooper Cup was coming across the middle, getting first downs. Cooper Cup wasn't balling out. He was just making those catches to where, like, hey, he's also a threat. Elijah Arroyo also was kind of a threat. Kenneth Walker was a threat in the pass catching game. And AJ Barter started coming on later in the season before Torrey Horton got hurt. Torrey Horton had monster games for the Seahawks. So, and on that same clip, I think he has the potential to do that. It's just like, is Amon Ra the perfect underneath slot guy because they're worried about Jameson Williams taking the ball over the top and scoring a 60-yard touchdown? Absolutely. That's what makes him great. He's a better route runner. So I think, to me, the 2 Ole Miss receivers that have constantly been in the media since they've been pro with DK and AJ Brown, respectfully, physical guys, strong as hell, run slants and go routes.
Hey, in Diggs. Isaiah said
Yeah.
that. I mean, Boomtown said that. No, but I mean, really, really on some not hating type stuff. Like, no, they're really elite at that. They're just not. It's like looking at certain players versus looking at someone like LeBron in the NBA. This is an analogy of like LeBron is more well rounded. Some of the guys that are in those conversations, like a Steph Curry, they're not as well rounded of a player as LeBron, but they're because they're so great at 1, 2, 3 things.
Yeah.
They just kind of
It really, so the biggest thing too is like any of these highly touted, highly sought after rookie group of skill position players. Like, how are they going to fare learning an offense? Like, is Shuck really that dude? Is he going to give Jordan Tyson a true chance to look very good and complimentary to Olave? Olave can have a breakout season if he's not catching hospital balls.
I'm
And
honestly, brother. Well, he's gonna get hospital balls. Like Tyler Shuck is still learning,
yeah,
and I
at
think
27 years old.
Tyler Shuck, I think either if Tyler Shuck is going to be what people think that Tyler Shuck is going to be, it's going to be this year. I don't think we see Tyler Shuck be Tyler Shuck in 2 years from now. Is like
Mhm.
either you do
Yeah.
it this year or at least show it. Maybe he's a little bit more inconsistent this year, but it's
Mhm.
still there. So maybe so. But like, bro, did you ever, bro? Jackson Smith and Jigba last year,
Mhm.
Devontae Smith this year. That's
Are you
if you
calling it? Are you
that's
calling it?
that's a sleeper to me. That's a sleeper
Mhm.
in fantasy. Everything in my eyes lines up for Smitty to go crazy, especially in a fantasy team where if you want to go running back heavy early, maybe you want
Mhm.
to catch a Josh Allen in the third if you can, or a Jalen Hurts in the third if you can. Right? Maybe
Mhm.
some people take him a little bit early. I think Smitty could be a good wide receiver one that people are sleeping on because
Mhm.
everything lines up. You have an offense that needs to get out to a hot start with the quarterback that needs to start fast for his confidence to lead him down the stretch after losing wide receiver one and after coming
Mhm.
out of it. Devontae Smith would be a big reason of it, of Philly saying that's why we were okay with moving on from him.
Yeah.
Because
And
realistically, like,
drafted
why would
Makai
you?
Lemon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like maybe you draft Makai Lemon because you just want somebody to be in that Smitty role. You
Mhm.
need him for that
Exactly.
Smitty role. And now
Yeah.
Smitty is because he's asked to do more. Do you think teams at the beginning of the season are gonna roll coverage to Smitty the same way they were AJ?
No.
And so if he's that, bro, like expect big time plays early in the season. Maybe it
Mhm.
doesn't last long enough for you to win, and that's why the wide
Mhm.
receiver two spot on your fantasy team, it has to be a lock. It
Yeah.
has to be a Bowser, a
Mhm.
banger. But
Yeah.
I think you can get by with Smitty as your wide receiver one.
I'm also looking at like some second year guys too. Like, is Luther Burden gonna break out? Is Matthew Golden gonna break out? Because right now DJ Moore's gone.
Facts.
Odunze is gonna be your one. And then as far as like Green Bay, it's like, who is your true one?
The way they pay Christian Watson is him.
Those are the other things that I'm looking at in the tight
Don't
end
do it.
position. Yeah,
Don't
I
do it.
know.
No, I'm
No,
saying
and
not you. I'm talking to the listeners and the
oh,
viewers. Do not do it. Like, and maybe I'm wrong, but Christian Watson is that perfect, like
waiver
Kyle Pitts.
wire.
He's that
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts. He's that, oh man, everything is lining up. You have a quarterback, a system. You know what I'm saying? You're an athlete. We understand that things just haven't been going your way. And then you're
Mhm.
4 years into it and you're like, bro, I've drafted him 4 years and he's ruined
And
my season
and
all
he's
four
got me.
years.
He either gets hurt or gives me 4 points.
And
Yeah.
let's definitely go to this because you brought it up and I was just gonna go over it.
Mhm.
Are you realistically believing in Kyle Pitts this year? Truthfully, are you believing in Kyle Pitts? And if
I have
so,
no
why?
I have no choice. And the reason that I'm gonna say this is because right now with that offense, they weren't calling plays for him, right? Under the old system that they were running with Zach Robinson came from Oklahoma State. Who was his tight end at Oklahoma State? Was it
You
Tracy Moore?
I ain't even gonna lie, you way too far in the vault.
Was
Pause.
it was it was it
Um,
Pettigrew? My point being in that, right? His OC was Dana Holgerson, right? So those plays were called. Zach Robinson loved to throw the ball to his receivers, and then that's where the offense kind of translated into the Blackmans and the Des Bryants and those people taking the ball over the top. With that offense, having Bijan, there's two things that they want to do: get Bijan as many touches as they can, and make these quarterbacks throw intermediate routes. Who is perfect for that? Call plays for Kyle Pitts to get him the ball because he's too physical of a receiver. He's too fast. And over the past couple of years, you got to think the last decent, I'm going to say decent, no disrespect to Kirko Chains, but the last decent quarterback that they had, who is going to be a Hall of Famer, was Matt Ryan. His rookie year with Matt Ryan had 1,000 yards, right? Even with Kirko, there was moments where what Kirko likes to throw the ball short to the tight end, right? And yes, TJ Hawkinson was a Pro Bowler, but the offense didn't mesh with how Kirko played. So I think there was times where like they couldn't get on the same page as far as coverages go for Kyle Pitts. This year, you got Tua, who's probably going to start. Tua made Jonnu Smith ball the fuck out. I think Tua likes throwing the ball short. Even when Darren Waller was in last year, Darren Waller was balling out until he got hurt. There's flashes of like, utilize this guy. He's a physical receiver. Kyle Pitts is a wide receiver playing tight end. He's just huge. Use that, take advantage of that, run play action, throw him the ball on a damn screen and let him go. Like, this is his 6th year in the league. He signed an extension. He's not making top tier tight end money. So it's not an experiment anymore. It's just utilizing him in the right way. And I feel
You
like he
just
really hasn't
talked.
been.
You just talked me out of believing in him. Just like that.
That's what's up. That's what I'm trying to do.
You okay? First off, the reason that I did believe in Kyle Pitts going into this offseason is because they just paid him, and just easy version of what you said, Stefanski.
Yep.
You've seen tight end production with Stefanski in fantasy.
Mhm.
It's always there, and you understand they're going to run the ball, they're going to throw the ball off play action. That's what Stefanski likes, and honestly, if I think that the Falcons can replicate some of those Browns teams that had success with running the ball with Nick Chubb. I think maybe Tua can give Kevin Stefanski's offense what he was asking of Baker for that. Maybe that's a perfect marriage, and Atlanta looks good this year. I just never going to believe in them because they've always proved me wrong. And the same thing with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, to me, he's had every excuse in his favor of why he should break out, why this should be his best year. And I think it's going to be. But I'm like, everything that you just said, the whole time I'm thinking, Jamie, I'm your conscience. I'm like, bro,
I know that I'm not going to be able to do these things.
That I'm your conscience. Yes, Kyle Pitts. It's a good idea right now because it's July. But in November, whenever you need it, it ain't going to happen because I'm your conscience. And once teams later in the season start making him block more, he's going to get frustrated and he's not going to give you a good route. I'm your conscience. Don't take Kyle Pitts because if you do, you're not going to be able to make the playoffs because I'm your conscience. So I think that Kyle Pitts should be like, I don't want to say he should be a sleeper. He's one of those. Kyle Pitts is a bust that he should be able to finally turn it around. Like I see videos where Kyle Pitts is in people's jailhouse because he's just Kyle Pitts is the biggest. I'm trying to think of he is the biggest like commercial that shows you big juicy steak that you're looking at it, you're like, oh my God, that looks phenomenal. Or you're an Instagram reel or a TikTok video that you get sent of a steak. Yeah, and it just looks fantastic. And then you go to the exact spot, the exact place, and then you sit at the exact spot with the exact same steak and you cut into it and it tastes like a chili steak. No disrespect to Chili's because it hits too, but you were expecting like Gordon Ramsay. And so now you mad because you just spent $45 on this and you could have spent $12 at Chili's.
So Kyle Pitts is Buffalo Wild Wings or McDonald's?
Nah, because McDonald's has the chocolate chip cookies, so that's elite. I don't think Kyle Pitts is showing anything elite. Like even Buffalo Wild Wings, like they maybe the food isn't elite at B-Dubs, but like the vibes is they have mastered
It-
a Kyle Pitts.
you're
What is
putting it
he?
into perspective
What?
though.
But
The
I'm saying
vibes
how
of the
he's like
food.
Wendy's, fam. He's like
But
Wendy's. He's like Kyle Pitts is Arby's. Kyle Pitts is Arby's. You look at the menu and you're like, man, this shit could smack. And then you eat
However,
it, and then you, yeah, bro. Like,
beatboxing, your stomach's beatboxing.
now you in the bathroom having conversations with the Lord, talking about, hey, bro, I promise I won't do it again. Yeah,
Okay. So
that's Kyle Pitts, bro.
respectfully, bringing up another tight end.
Long John Silver's.
So you're saying people are dumb if they reach for Kyle Pitts instead of grabbing Dallas Goddard, which I've done every year, and he's always had better.
No,
production.
I think Kyle Pitts is going to be a reach if we're being real, because I think that Kyle Pitts is someone that if you want him, you're going to have to take him early. And I don't think there's if Kyle Pitts falls to you, then fine, right?
Yeah.
If he gets if he drops in your lap, pause, then yeah. But that's not. We understand. Every draft you go to, you're gonna walk in, and
There's gonna be somebody.
the first one of the conversations that you're gonna have on draft day is,
What do you think?
hey, who's taking a chance on Kyle Pitts?
Who's doing it?
Because last year I was gonna take the chance on Kyle Pitts last year. I remember I showed up and I got asked after being there 3 minutes, are you gonna take a chance with Kyle Pitts? And I was like, I plan on it. And he got taken, and I was he got taken, and I was upset.
Mm-hmm.
In December, bro, I was not upset. I was not upset that
Shout
I
out
didn't
to
get
Zach,
Kyle Pitts.
who said, "I'm gonna do it." Marlon, I'm gonna do it.
Yep,
Wrote it in.
I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all for saving me from myself, because Kyle Pitts just not it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he's a sleeper. I just think the only time it makes sense to take Kyle Pitts is if he falls to you. Bro, and you know those Instagram reels where people like they're giving you their draft, like their fantasy rankings, like, oh, well, we've cooked up one of those videos for you today, and it's like at the 4th spot, this is, and it just shows highlights, and then it tells you who it is, and it's like and follow, like those videos. Yeah, bro, they're telling you take Kyle Pitts because I'm your conscience. They're trying to get you to do it, bro. They're working with Vegas. They're working with Vegas.
That I want to bring up is, obviously, I think we know the top tier quarterbacks that are going to get took. Who's a true sleeper? Who's truly a guy that we're?
You want to go back to what you said?
What?
You said Aaron Rodgers. And look, do I think that Aaron Rodgers okay. This is the true. You have to look at fantasy versus actual football, completely different. Do I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the perfect team or perfect quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers? No. Do I think in fantasy, if you wait until late to take a quarterback, can Aaron Rodgers keep you afloat? If the rest of your team is set up correctly, yes. Because there's going to be a few weeks that Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy with DK and Michael Pittman and whoever else they have with Rico and Jalen Warren, they score 40 points. It's going to happen. And Rodgers is going to have 4 touchdowns. He'll give you a few of those weeks. Most of the time, you'll get a smooth 15 to 18, but there's going to be some big time weeks. If you're one of those guys that likes to take quarterback late, and you're a guy that doesn't care if you don't need your quarterback to score 30 or 40 to win. You're okay with them scoring 15 to 20. And if they have a 30 or 40 point just masterpiece, it just adds. Aaron Rodgers would be the perfect person. And that's not a bias because I'm really not that big of a fan of him, but I think he would be fine. But there's other quarterbacks that you can get in that slot. One that I won't trust is Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. Because I feel like when I take Trevor, but he can do that job. Trevor is a guy that can get you 15 to 20 points and then maybe 1 to 4, but you have to draft him accordingly. If you draft Trevor Lawrence in the 6th round, you just cooked your entire fantasy. That's just what it is. 11th, 12th round, at the end of that mug, Trevor Lawrence is still there. Hey, Bucko, welcome to the Vipers.
Let's go, bud. I think overall, Aaron could be a sleeper.
Tua.
One of the I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on Malik Willis either, even though that's my team.
So no,
Because
Malik
yes,
in fantasy, no. Tua, the reason is just the offense.
yeah,
I think Kevin Stefan. It's not going to be pretty. I don't think Tua's going to throw for 5,000 yards. I don't think he's going to have that replication of
he's a
Miami.
250 and 2 guy at best.
I think he throws 3,700 yards if he's the starter every week. And
Mm-hmm.
but
They
honestly, like he's going to throw for like 37 touchdowns though. Because they're going to
like
get
red
in the
zone?
red area, brother. He play action seams. He's
little
gonna
Charlie
throw some
check
hospital
down.
balls. Yeah,
Mhm.
and Bijan just yeah, he's gonna throw for like 35. So if we're talking true sleepers, I don't think you should bet your fantasy team on Tua, but
No.
he's not maybe a waiver wire, but I mean
Yeah.
maybe Brock Purdy is always nice.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't think there's anybody that would be considered a sleeper. Like, I don't think there's anybody that's going to be a new quarterback stepping in, like your Tyler Shucks or maybe Jackson Dart. Maybe Jackson Dart can be a sleeper.
Is this the year, even though it's the second year, do we believe in Cam Ward?
Fantasy? No.
He said no.
No.
Can he get more wins? Yes.
Yes. Fantasy, no, because I don't think that he's going to add as much of a rushing upside to help you in those weeks. And then he's going to be, I think, because of that division, Cam is, and him still being young and them having a defensive minded head coach, Cam is going to have a lot of weeks where he gives you 170 yards passing, maybe 2 touchdowns with 1 interception. So maybe if Cam is there late, you do. But again, more likely you get Aaron Rodgers and he does the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's more so on like who's gonna be serviceable. And is Kirko gonna cook in Vegas, baby? He said
he's gonna start the season off cooking, but for you to get hot down the stretch, Kirko is not, because he might be on the bench.
Yeah.
So build your strategies according, because if you take a risk on Kirko being your longtime quarterback and you start getting to fantasy playoffs, Kirko gonna be on the bench and they're gonna be looking at Fernando.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you would take? This is a throw out. Is there anybody on the Denver Broncos offense that you take in the first 3 rounds?
Who's their running back?
JK still there, RJ Harvey, and I think Jaleel McLaughlin. That's their rotation at running back.
No, because JK would be probably the one that I would want to take, and I'm getting him in the 6. Ain't nobody taking him with them knees. That boy got Booby Miles knees.
Jalen Waddle's there. I think Jalen Waddle is.
I'm not taking him in the top 3. I'm not, respectfully.
Yeah. He has
not because I don't think Jalen Waddle is good. It's just that's a full wide receiver room.
Yeah, I'm looking at their team, and I'm also looking like if we're breaking it, I don't want us to get into the rabbit hole of breaking down every team, but it's like when I'm looking at certain offenses, like same thing goes for Houston. First 3 rounds, you taking anybody. Nico's the one person that needs to be
round wide receiver,
second to third. Other offenses, like people are going to reach for Bowers and Genty for Vegas, regardless. The Rams, Puka, probably Devontae. You might get
maybe
Kyron in the third. In Seattle's the one thing, like it's a lock for JSN, and then really you're looking at that team and going, what else could be there?
The only other player that I would take is probably Sam. And again, that's if I want a quarterback super late.
In the 6th round, Charbonnet has a lot of upside, but is Charbonnet a guy that you get in the 3rd round? Because we're not talking the first 2 rounds. 10-team leagues, they're 10-team league,
10-team league, Charbonnet probably could. At the end of the season, right now, you're not saying Charbonnet would be that guy in a 10-team league. No, let me take that back. In a 12-team league, Charbonnet is a player that you could like.
You could get in the
He
third.
is. He gives you. I mean, he's gonna give you. If you were someone who believed in Kenneth Walker the third in fantasy, Charbonnet gives you what he gave you plus some because he. I don't know his top end, bro.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
him in
He's
fantasy, and brother, he's scoring touchdowns. Like
yes.
Kenneth was very Kenneth Walker was very capable of explosive
Hmm.
plays. Charbonnet is very capable of explosive plays turning into touchdowns. So
Hmm.
Charbonnet is someone that
Yeah,
in a bigger league where talent is getting taken early, that in the end of
yeah.
the third, maybe middle of the
Especially in
third,
running back
you need a
position.
brother.
Yeah,
You need a running back because you went wide
because
receiver heavy. Zach
yeah, if you're
Charbonnet.
looking at starting running backs in the third round, he should be your guy in a 12-team league. Just because
If
you start looking at your top end running backs, and then you're looking at your second tier guys at that point, and your second tier guys, he's got to be in that conversation. He's got to be in that mix. Um, along with Walker, I think he could do some decent things in Kansas City. Overall, that's what I'm. I guess it's a perfect question of team to team, player to player. If you're in fantasy, who are you getting in the first three, or what teams have actual top three draft pick type of guys? Because you
it's
start getting into the weeds of it
It's yeah,
in that regard.
it's spread out. I mean, it's just hard to look at it that honestly, if you want me to be completely honest, I'm looking
Mhm.
at teams that are going to get their asses kicked. Like in my first two to my
I mean,
first
that's
two to
not
three,
bad.
well, my first 2 to 3 teams or 2 to 3 picks are players that I'm like, I don't care what type of team you're on. I don't care if you're on a good team. I don't care if you're on a bad team because I know you're going to get your numbers. Justin
Yep.
Jefferson kind of late in the first round, he hits that too. So just watch
Mhm.
out. But after like round 4, I'm looking at this like which teams do I think are going to be bad, and who are some players that I think are because if you're getting absolutely mini meat every week,
Mhm.
RIP. If you're getting mini meat every week, players are getting 75 targets. And I'm all for that.
Yes.
Like, I don't care if you're like, if those are empty calories. I'm trying to make the bag
Yeah. In
respectfully.
PPR, in a
Yeah.
PPR league,
Yeah. So
I
that's what
want
I
I
look for.
want I
Give
want my late
me,
round guys to have 6 to 7 catches.
I keep it a bean with you, bro. It's going to be hard in that to have that conversation of like Trey, like McBride. I think McBride is very
Mhm.
talented. I think McBride is a guy that can he go to a high end offense and be what he is in Arizona? I don't know because
No,
I've watched Arizona just get
for the
crushed.
love of God, they had to throw him the ball because they were scared to throw it anywhere else. The last thing I'll mention about fantasy: what round is somebody taking a player from the New York Jets?
It depends. People right now are watching real close at Malik Neighbors' medicals. Malik
Oh, for
Neighbors
the
would be.
Jets.
Oh,
Mhm.
you said for the
Yeah,
Jets. I thought
yeah, the Jets,
I
not the
went
Giants.
straight to the
Yeah,
Giants. It's horrible. It's
no,
easy to do that, but the Jets,
no.
Garrett Wilson,
Second.
second or third.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, and it depends
Brees
too
Hall
because
re-signed too, which is
maybe Brees
very
Hall,
strange.
those
Yeah,
two. I think their offense will be better this coming. It
mhm.
has to. They were horrible, but
God,
they
yeah.
got Geno back. I think Geno at this point of his career is able to run an offense in the NFL. Now, again, is he going to throw interceptions that are going to lose the Jets game? Also
thousand
true.
percent,
Yes.
thousand
But
percent.
fantasy wise, he's going to be good enough to be able to spread the ball around. So I look at it that way. Like, can Geno
Mhm.
get Garrett Wilson enough targets so that Garrett Wilson can do what Garrett Wilson does? Can Garrett Wilson be getting beat by 30 and get 17 targets and score 2 touchdowns? Yep. Same thing with Brees
Mhm.
Hall. So
Yep.
I think you could talk yourself into it, but you got to be a real sicko. Isaiah,
Yeah.
top 100 players in the NFL,
Mhm.
we're at, have they gotten to what, 50?
I think they're right at 50 at the
Yeah,
moment.
Caleb Williams was 51.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we've had 50 players released, revealed, whatever you want to call it. What do you think? Because I haven't paid attention to it a lot. You mentioned it. who are some players that have been overlooked? Who are some of the players in the top 100 that don't belong there? Who are some of the players that do, or who are some players that didn't get put on the list that you think should have been put on the list?
Um, well, I got it pulled up now. So I'm gonna start from the 100. And they pretty much have the stats lined up of these guys. So I think I think Creed Humphrey kind of got the shit end of the stick, respectfully. Being a first team All Pro guy, being the model of consistency with that offense, playing that position the way that he plays it, playing it on the team that was not as successful this year, where he was ranked the year prior, I believe this is correct, is he was ranked at 95th last year. So I'm looking at that like, so he dropped, no, he was ranked at 93rd, so he dropped a spot. I think that's kind of the players kind of selling on him, especially for what he means to that organization. Being a long-term center, being a guy like that, when we've seen other centers that have been ranked a lot higher, like if we're looking at Jason Kelsey for the years that he was in the league and what he meant to that team and that success of that team, Creed Humphrey has more rings than him, and he's younger, and he was first team All Pro again, and he allowed one sack on the entire season, and he allowed 8 pressures at that position, dealing with nose guards. You got to think at one point in time, Creed Humphrey was having to block Miles Garrett on a double team. He was having to block Aaron Donald, Byron Murphy. He's going against top tier competition most of the time. Maybe not necessarily in his division, but at the same time, in that division, Zach Allen, who is the D tackle for the Denver Broncos, is ranked higher than him. Kyron Williams, I feel, is about where he needs to be because we're going on overall position. Um, and then where we've reached it so far, the absolute fall from grace is got to be Lamar Jackson. That was out of left field. That boy got ranked 69th, nice, in the entire league. Coming off
I
of potentially having his third MVP season, they just had to give it to Josh Allen.
I think truthfully, so I agree. Everything that you said though, I
Mhm.
agree with what you're saying about Creed. I know people are pissed off about the Lamar thing. I know people are going to be watching and
Yeah.
calling me a certain kind of animal because I'm not just glazing Lamar Jackson. But what I will say is like people get caught up in people's resume whenever they're doing this. This is this is top 100 players of 2025.
Last year.
So
Last year.
it has
Yes.
nothing to do with 24 or anything
Mhm.
past that. It is what did you do last year? And
Mhm.
for Creed, is Creed going to be looked at as the best center in the league? Absolutely. Was he the best center in
Mhm.
the league last year? No. I know his numbers are very good for centers. You're not going to
Mhm.
allow a ton of pressures or sacks from the center position, anyways, because not a
Mhm.
lot of teams are throwing a traditional nose anymore because they're running more diamond nickel.
Mhm.
Um, so, and I get it. I'm just saying I understand why he's lower. But again, that's also why I think Kansas City is going to be better this year because there's a lot of bulletin
Mhm.
board material. And
Yep.
that's also why I think Baltimore is going to be better because there's also a lot of bulletin board material. I just think the bulletin board material, especially with Lamar Jackson, makes sense. They weren't
Yep.
good. Lamar last year wasn't that good. He was good in moments, but I mean,
Mhm.
you can look at the biggest two games that they had of the career, or the biggest two games that Lamar had of the season last year were to win the division against the Steelers
Mhm.
and to win the division. Like they wouldn't have even been in that position if they would have just beat the damn Bengals, who had just gotten
Yeah.
Joe Burrow back, and they
Yep.
lost. And then you lost to the
Mhm.
Steelers with the game on the line, and you
Mhm.
played bad. I think they got swept by the Steelers last year, bro. Like,
They did.
and you like y'all were. He threw bad interceptions. He turned the ball over. Like it should have never came down. Like people, the reason that I'm so shocked that people are shocked that Lamar is where he was is like people can openly say that they think that the Pittsburgh Steelers last year were a joke of a team. Like, y'all got that grandpa out there, whoop-de-woo. And they swept the Ravens, the Lamar Jackson-led Ravens. That should tell you everything that you need to know. Now, one thing that I just, while you were talking to me looking at it, what I don't agree with is I don't agree that Travis Kelce should have been above Creed Humphrey.
No.
I don't think
agree
that
with that.
Baker should have been above Creed Humphrey.
Yeah. And I also, on that team, I also don't think that Fred Warner should have made the list and been ranked that high.
Yeah.
Granted, he lost his season due to injury. Fred Warner, based on these numbers, I don't remember the exact amount, but Fred Warner might have played in 6 games.
Facts.
Fred Warner is a all-pro generational type of linebacker for what he's done in that position with San Fran and his impact on a game. I don't like players getting ranked if they lose over half of their season to injury, because this is for the entire season. This is players ranking each other throughout the entire season. Is he a great person in the community? Is he a great player? Absolutely. But this man ruptured his Achilles or tore his ACL. I can't remember what. Either way, lost his season.
You know,
I don't like that.
Before pushing over and going NBA, I did want to point this out as well. One looking at the list. The list just proves to me that I win. I get it, bro. Like, I see Bo Nix at 59. I see Jalen Hurts at 56. And I see old Caleb Williams at 51. NFL players voted. And I feel the reason that they did it isn't because of numbers or wins or anything that we as fans can look and want. They're grading it based off of what they see them having to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And and also just because it's 2025, like, Jalen didn't have that good of a season. Early in the season in Denver, there was a little bit of noise. Maybe Bo had taken a step back, or maybe he wasn't as good until he got to the playoffs and he was able to make those plays. And then people looked at the numbers and they were like, damn, actually, clutch for clutch and everything like that, he's on par with Caleb. It's just, you're right. He's very much on par with Caleb. He just has a bigger kitchen to cook because it's Denver versus Chicago. But I vibe with it. I also looked I seen was Jaden, because I think Drake May is going to be very high on this list, obviously, as he should, as he finished number 2 in the MVP race. I looked to see where Jaden Daniels finished last year, and Jaden Daniels was 21. So the first thing I'm looking at now in the list is how high is Drake May? Because Jaden went to the conference championship and they put him at 21. Drake goes to the Super Bowl. Is he going to be higher than 21? Do I think that Drake May last year had a better season than Jaden Daniels did in 24? No.
No, I don't think so either. I'm looking at, I know we're about to go to, NBA.
LeBron James.
But also, you look at the biggest argument that I have is 2 out of the 3 Florida quarterbacks, because old boy ain't gonna make it. Did Trevor Lawrence outplay Baker in the back half of the season to get ranked above him?
Did he not get ranked above him?
He did. I
think so? Yes.
Yes, which is why people have to realize that season by season, if we're looking at who's a better quarterback between those two, let's just, for argument's sake, let's just throw it out there. Who's the better quarterback?
Trevor Lawrence.
No, I'm saying like overall.
Oh, who's the better quarterback of who?
Baker and Trevor.
Are in 2025 or in overall, throughout their careers?
Overall, yeah.
Trevor.
Ooh.
I'm going Trevor just because
you Baker done pissed some people off, brother.
Well, okay. Like, they both went to bad spots, but I think Baker's bad spot was they picked it up and brought him weapons. You can say egos and all this other shit, but like, Baker went to a spot that had a good offensive line with a run game with Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, who had been successful, and they had Myles Garrett, they had some guys on defense. Like they weren't mud, right? Jacksonville was mud. And Trevor has kept them as consistent as Jacksonville has been throughout the entirety of Jacksonville even having a franchise. So truthfully, like I think that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it is what it is. Like, I think Trevor hasn't had as high end of weapons. I think Trevor has dealt with just as much of the turmoil. I think it's all, like everything that Baker has dealt with, I think Trevor has too. And I've just seen Trevor's high, like when Baker won that playoff game for Cleveland, the Steelers were horrible, and it wasn't like Baker did shit anyways. The first snap of the game went over Ben's head, and they scored a touchdown. It's 7-0, and your offense hasn't touched the dang field. So Trevor Lawrence was getting clapped at halftime and led a comeback. He actually was the reason for the playoff win, and he took the Bills to the limit last year.
Yeah.
So, and that's with the bad, like who's on his, he doesn't have Mike Evans. He doesn't have Chris Godwin. He doesn't have Emeka Egbuka. And it's like, who in Jacksonville are you looking at and being like, this is the reason that their offense is good? It's Trevor Lawrence, bro. I'm not looking at the Bucs and saying, hey, the Bucs are good because of Baker Mayfield. I think the Bucs are good because of the other reasons, and Baker has helped them be relevant again. But he's not the reason. They're running the ball. Their wide receiver unit is really good. Tampa has been looked at for a long time as a team that if a good quarterback goes there, they're going to be successful. Jameis was 30 tuds. He's dumbass just threw 30 interceptions. So
exactly.
Yeah, Trevor has had to get it out. It's the Caleb Williams versus Jalen Hurts. Like that's what I look at whenever I see it. Baker has had a lot more go right for him than Trevor has. And yeah, I think Baker just starts every season as an MVP candidate. And people, I told you Baker's just as good as these guys. And then whenever the season actually kicks off and it's time for you to show that you're the best, and that's when you make your name, like shit, people forget, like there were a lot of Tom Brady's early in the season where people were able to win games. And we watched Tony Romo and Dak Prescott lead game-winning drives in the regular season forever. But whenever it's the playoffs and it's cold and it's time for you to elevate yourself as one of the greatest of all times by doing it that way in the biggest moments, you piss down your leg. I've watched Baker do that. Unfortunately, I love him. I've watched Baker do it. Trevor has stepped up. Trevor's been the better quarterback since even college. Clemson didn't have they had talent. Don't get me wrong. They didn't have as much fucking talent as OU had offensively. They didn't have the same scheme, and they were pro style. We're going to run the ball and play action, and they did. OU was a spread.
I will say Clemson did have a better defense when Trevor was there.
I agree, but I'm saying offensively high power. I'm saying, as far as what do you want from your quarterback? Do you want your quarterback to come in as a spread guy who has to learn how to play the NFL, or do you want to have an NFL pro style quarterback that's ready to play, that you feel like you can get them to play in the spread if they have to? Give me the NFL pro, because once the game needs to be slowed down, they can then slow it down.
He has the ability
Trevor can slow it down when he needs to. He's not throwing full gas all game. He's got a breaking ball. He's going to save his arm.
Let's Cameron, who is on vacation right now, is shedding one single tear for you giving Trevor his flowers the way that you just did. And Zach Wunderlich is probably going to cuss you out the next time he sees you for that take, which is perfect, which is why we do what we do.
Facts. And like I said, who do I like more? I like Baker more. Who do I think is better? Like, bro, I'm giving you takes like I'm betting my entire savings on it. I'm not betting my entire savings that the gods of football are watching and they're like, oh, yeah, bro, Baker's better. Who's better? The guy that sat on one organization and had an organization believe in him, or the guy that's been on 4? Let's wrap it up. LeBron James. LeBron James to Philadelphia. Isaiah, the news broke. He live tweeted it, bro. Tweeted it. Technology. Yeah. What are your thoughts about LeBron? We can have the open mic and just kind of talk. What are your thoughts on Bron going to Philly? What does it do to the NBA? And do you think that Philly is a true contender? You think that it's like they like? Do you see them as the favorite to win the NBA Finals?
No, no,
Explain
because
it.
you're dealing with Embiid, who absolutely lacks consistency. You're dealing with two young guys in Maxi and Edgecombe who kind of need the ball. I think Maxi's a little more selfless than Edgecombe is. Edgecombe's younger, which makes sense. You got Jalen Brown, who went there to be the guy and have a perfect running mate. Embiid is getting older. People don't realize Embiid was drafted in 2014. It's just he didn't play for the first 3 years of his career, and then every year, he's never played in a season more than I think or 65, 66 games, something like that. So he's gonna be hurt at some point in the season. How does LeBron fit with that starting 5? Because, pretty much they are throwing the entire kitchen sink and betting everything on that starting 5. Their bench, Oubre left. He's a defensive guy that can snatch down rebounds. Drummond is not the same player, which I think he walked as well. So, how good does your bench look, Philly? He signed for pennies on the dollar, essentially. So, I'm trying to understand why he went to Philly. I don't know what he's wanting to gain out of this. I don't
A
think it makes him
title?
an honor. I don't think it happens. I mean that with there's a lot of parity in the NBA right now. They got two guys that play decent defense. Edgecombe because he's hungry and he can match up with the guard, and for argument's sake, Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown and Edgecombe right now look like the two best defenders. That's what I'm saying. The thing that helps teams win more often than not is when you got to give those guys a rest and your bench is at least able to keep the ship stable until your starting 5 comes back in. Who's on their bench?
I mean, we have to let the rest of the offseason take his, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know just
Mhm.
yet. I think we will see because I know they signed KCP right before we started, but there's going to be a lot of guys hit the buyout market that'll go to Philly and take less just to try to win a ring this year because they see the capability. I think that's it. I think Philly is they're a win now. Like they have to win right now. But I think they went to I think the selling point, and I think what Philadelphia's front office said is essentially, hey guys, we need to win this mug right now, right? But we also have things for going forward. So I think this is a way for them to push all their chips to the middle of the table and say, we want to win a championship right this second. And if we
Mhm.
don't, we still have assets. We didn't give up first rounders. We didn't give up anything like that. So we can keep these assets and push it to everything in to try to put a team to win this year with
Mhm.
LeBron because we also know Embiid is probably his body's not going to hold up. So he's on his last couple years, if that.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
push it to the limit one more time
That's
and
awesome.
let's see if we can work and then we can still build for the future. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
That's how it makes sense. From LeBron's aspect, which team that actually wanted to sign him gave him the best chance to compete for a championship?
San
Philly.
Antonio.
Philly.
San Antonio.
I didn't think San Antonio didn't want him.
Luke Cornett left a voice message to LeBron asking him to come play with him. That means something, okay?
That doesn't mean shit. I think Philly does too because if you go to San Antonio, you run a risk to do what you're gonna like. How do you win? How do you win with LeBron right now? You don't make him do shit until it's the playoffs. You keep him fresh.
Yeah.
Philly has the bodies to do that.
Yes.
They can Embiid. I think Embiid and Maxi are going to show us two things in the regular season. The plan should be the plan is not this. I don't think it's going to work. The plan should be Maxi and Jalen Brown are running the ship majority of the season. Yes,
Mhm.
there's going to be some games that we're full strength, but Braun is old and Embiid's body is linguini. So we're gonna
Mhm.
see the future. Can y'all two coexist? Can y'all lead us to some wins so that once they leave, we're still building and going to win championships or at least compete? So we're gonna see
Mhm.
that, and then we're also you can keep him fresh, you can keep Embiid fresh, and if they're all healthy, bro, they're gonna be a problem. Like I think they
Yeah,
can,
I don't.
if healthy, they can compete with the Knicks. I think they truthfully
Yeah,
can. So
yeah.
I think that would be why you push all the chip and yeah, San Antonio. I'm not putting that much on Wimby. Like Wimby could get hurt, knocking on wood, but like he's a bigger guy. Like what does it
Mhm.
look like without him there? Now LeBron has to be LeBron,
I
and
think on the
at his
defensive
age he
side
can't.
of the ball is what helped because they they move the ball at a very good clip, and I think that's why it was. I didn't want him to go to San Antonio, but I thought, as far as his best chance to win the finals,
Well,
probably San
but
Antonio.
but Maxi, they have their players play enough defense to allow LeBron to rest.
Mhm.
They're not gonna need him very often to play just I'm gonna lock you up. He's gonna play very help side. They're gonna treat him the same way that the Warriors treated Steph, the same way that the Lakers are gonna treat Luca, the same way that Trey Young gets treated, the same way that Brunson gets treated, the same way that
Mhm.
they're able to do that. While maybe they're not gonna be the best defense in the league, they're not gonna be mutt,
Mhm.
and that good enough? Because New York's defense was really good, but I mean, even if they weren't, they were getting buckets,
So
right?
I guess my counter argument. What was Philly missing when they got absolutely ran out of the building against the Knicks?
Health. Embiid was in and out of the lineup. They didn't have other stars. They didn't have a Jalen Brown there. Jalen Brown alone would have helped in that series. But now, if you go into that series and you get Embiid healthy and LeBron healthy, that's that's what you were missing in my eyes. You can go forward and say that's what we needed in that series to beat the shit out of them. It's gonna help. Is it gonna make them 4-1 them or even beat them? No, but it's at least an option of like we're running out of options, bro. Like it's gonna be hard to move Embiid because of his contract and people know his body. So like
Mhm.
let's try to win one while he's still that, you know what I'm saying? While he still
Has a
can.
chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it. Like this year and next year, you can say realistically that it's his body's not gonna last that much longer. So why
Well, I
not?
think his mentality too. I don't think he would want to play that
I
for this much longer because he
I was
can't
think
stay healthy.
yeah, but I was thinking that remember, I said even on the pod, I thought Denver was gonna make a move like this or moves
Mhm.
like this for like Jalen Brown and somebody else. Because I was like, Jokic is yeah, they were just like, nah, his body is bad, and Denver was like, nah, Jokic can play for another four years. And
Yeah.
Jokic looks like he lost a little bit of weight. Obviously, it's the offseason. So once he gets
Yeah.
back over to the States and starts eating some of that chicken and some of that
Yeah.
barbecue, he'll put some of that weight back on. But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I don't I think it truthfully makes them I think it makes them a NBA champion contender.
Mhm.
Do I think that they can win a finals? Maybe, but I don't think this is the same Eastern Conference that LeBron dominated.
No. No, I
So
don't think so at all.
yeah, I think honestly, if you want me to be truthfully, or if you want me to keep it a being with you, Isaiah, I think the same people that think that Philly are just going to go through and sweep everybody and easily win a NBA Finals are the same people that believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to win the MVP and the Super Bowl MVP this year for Pittsburgh.
My kind of guys. My
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of.
it was. I remember 2015 too. It was fun times. You
It's
know what I'm
beautiful. It's
saying?
great.
Cool, not a care in the world, and the quarterback play was amazing, and the NBA was amazing, and you got to see people in their primes, and you loved it and enjoyed it. Sometimes it ends, and you just got to turn the page and enjoy the rise to the whatever is the next
Next
version
thing.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Mhm.
Could you imagine if when VCRs left and went to DVDs, if I was just like, no, I'll never go to DVD, Blu-ray,
4K
no.
Ultra
Yeah, yeah,
streaming
yeah.
What do you mean? No, I'm boycotting
Shit
it.
moves on, and every
No.
time something moves on, people think that there's no world where the NBA moves on without LeBron James. There's no world that the NFL moves on without Aaron Rodgers. And brother, you're just a DVD guy. Blu-ray is right around the corner, and Netflix is coming too.
Yo.
Sorry, that's evolution. Should have learned about it in school. Should have paid attention in school, you fucking bozo.
I give him a 4 seed. I'll go 4 or 3 seed in the East.
Which East teams do you think are just better than them? New York.
I'd argue New York. I think Boston's going to be right there again. That's why I
Just
say
not
3
that
or
high
4.
on Boston, bro.
Well, I mean, shout out to Cole. I'm giving you your flowers. Boston has a thing up there with their
No,
coach
they're
and with
fucking
that
trash.
organization.
Oh, live right now, Cole, because I know you be listening on God. The Lakers sweeping Boston this year on God. There's nothing y'all are doing to us. You know what time it is. I promise you. You know what time it is. Truthfully, in your heart, you know that Boston has nothing for the Lakers this year. Even though the Lakers roster ain't done and they still might get Kuminga, they still might be able to sign and trade to get Peyton Watson from Denver and add another guy that can play defense and shoot that thing. Brother, y'all losing Jaylen Brown, like we're finna fry y'all. We're fixing to cook y'all. There's nothing that y'all can do. We're fixing to take, all them the last 5 years of me accepting them bets, knowing that I was probably gonna lose and have to bang out some push-ups, Cole. That shit's over with. It's over with. It's over with. It's over. It's over.
Okay.
I just what
Timestamp
do
it.
you think that Boston got better in the offseason?
By adding more pick. No.
So do
I mean,
you
they
have
did.
them over Philly?
No, I don't. I think that Boston has something special with how that organization is ran that could get them more regular season wins, possibly. Absolutely. Yeah.
I would agree if they were a little bit younger. If Tatum was, I mean, Tatum is. I mean, I could see a world where Tatum wins MVP because he's just absolutely frying because he has to, and they do. That's the only route to that. And I don't see. I mean, again, there's only so many times that it's gonna work. He can't like. So I don't expect Boston to be better than Philly. Who else in the East?
Let me hold on 1 second. I gotta remember.
Atlanta,
I
Washington. Like are any of them teams just do Indy? Maybe Indiana.
Yeah, I could see maybe
Toronto.
Indy,
With
Miami,
Kawhi,
possibly.
maybe Miami, possibly. Yes.
I think Toronto did get better by getting Kawhi, and just it's a matter of if he is
If
healthy.
that goes through, is all that
Yeah,
investigation good?
I don't
If
know
it
if
is, I
it's
think they'll
over
be
with yet.
okay. Yeah, if it's over with, I think they'll be able to compete again. They run into the same thing to me that Philly does is can you stay healthy? And I just I'm
I
not
mean,
believing in
Detroit.
it,
I
bro.
mean, Detroit
Detroit,
was
yeah, but what did
on
they
the
do
one
in the
seed.
offseason, bro? They lost IT or Isaiah Stewart. Who did they trade him for?
Yeah, I don't know. Can of tomatoes.
I think it was somebody to give Cade a number 2. I just can't remember.
Yeah, it was a decent one to give him a number 2 guy because Tobias Harris went to San Antonio. So,
That's crazy too.
but I
I'm
think also their coaching, the way that I who is it? Nick Nurse? Is Nick Nurse the head coach for
I ain't even
Philly?
finna lie to you. I'm not finna. I have no earthly idea.
I think
Um,
he is. I think it's Nick Nurse because he's the one that won with Toronto, and then the next year he got fired, and then he was like,
and that's how fast it moves in the NBA and the NFL too.
"Yeah."
Is you can win and
I
get.
mean, that for argument's sake, that's why I said about a 3 or a 4 seed. I don't think that they're the 1 seed. I don't.
Oh, they
I'm
got
not.
Isaiah Joe, Kevin Werther, and let's see, John Collins.
John
Yeah,
Collins is a good
it
pickup.
is. It is, but again, I don't know if it. Maybe, yeah, or yeah. I'll give you 4 seed. I don't know why it took me so long
Which
to
is a
just agree with
toss-up.
you.
They could be the 1 seed or they could be the 4 seed because I
Yeah,
think
but
in the
health.
East, that it shifts a lot. Yeah, in health.
It just depends because I think the league is so deep. I think team wise and what we've been watching, there's no team that's just so dominant that they just turn the switch on and they beat you regardless. There's no 90s Bulls, there's no 2000 Lakers, there's no Heatles, there's no Golden State Warriors in this era, right? So there's nobody that just outside, like when you play them, you're going to get smashed. Outside of that, you should be pretty safe. And some of the teams are just bad.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get too many Hornets. You don't get too many Bobcats. You get more teams that are really good and can just beat the hell out of you any given night. And because of that, I truthfully think that you need health. Like you need youth. That's why I've been so for the Lakers going and getting younger, even if that means losing LeBron, because I understand Luka's probably going to need to miss some time, and so is AR because it's a new NBA. These players aren't playing 82 games. So because of that, I need some players that help Austin win 8 out of 10 games instead of Austin having a worse roster because LeBron is eating up a lot of that contract and then having him have to win without LeBron because he's out too. Or then LeBron, you know what I mean? Like I would rather make it easy and the Lakers be able to have more pieces and things like that. And yeah, like bro, I'm so excited for the Lakers. I promise you, Isaiah, like if you want to convert right now, the Lakers are two pieces, bro. Get me a good backup center, third center to add to Kessler, Kevon Looney, and give me Kaminga or Watson, and I'm happy.
How far would you guys realistically go?
I will say to that question, I'm gonna give you. We're gonna find out how good Luka Doncic really is, because if Luka elevates and Luka is that generational talent, this is a good roster. That's what I'll say. Is it Thunder with J Dub and no? Maybe it's not that high end, but is it Dallas getting hot in the playoffs? Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. I think that's what he wants, though.
Yes.
Because if you look at whenever he was playing with LeBron, it threw off the things that make Luka great. He still had moments, but there was times where like they could blow out a team by 20 and they could lose by 20 and they were at full strength and had full health.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
did.
like the balance of
People's
what he looked like within the team whenever he was sitting and whenever he was playing. Who is this play for?
facts.
Versus
And
Luka only initiating it. Luka
I
doesn't have to be off the ball that much
I
anymore.
love the smoke that the Lakers are getting on social media. I love it. As a Lakers fan, I love it. I love that people hate him because LeBron is gone. I love it. I truthfully love it because as much as I love like what LeBron brought to the Lakers, like I also understood that his age became an issue, and I understood that for the Lakers to get to that next step, they had to. This is moving off of Shaq for Kobe. This is what this is. Like it's a hey man, I hope you go
Ooh.
win a championship. Like I hope you go to Miami with D Wade and win a championship with Jaylen Brown and Tyrese Maxey. But in a couple of years, I think they're there. I think they are good. I think they're
So
continuing to build. Now, I think for the Lakers, they have to be good this year for it to work. And I think they're in a lot better place than the Lakers were coming off of Shaq and Kobe.
is he European Mamba?
I
Is he
hope. I
cream? Oh
hope.
no! Hey, y'all need to put Robbie Avila in the rotation. Put him in the starting lineup. Milk Chamberlain, Cream Abdul-Jabbar, every other nickname that this kid has, put him in. He is good, bro. Like maybe not
Come
NBA
to the league.
ready,
And yeah, I enjoy
but
watching him on the G League. Yeah.
Summer League, he's hooping, bro.
Hey, bro, I
I
enjoy watching him in the G League. But yeah, last takes on. Hold on, let me pull that up. That way we can finish out. And I gotta go to my nephew's shindig, but give me a second so I can pull it up. Also, while we're waiting, I appreciate everybody for the love. Appreciate y'all for liking, commenting, doing all that, giving us some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially on TikTok, YouTube, all the love in the world. But bold prediction, bold predictions. Isaiah will start in the NFL. What's one team that misses the playoffs that made it last year, and one team that missed the playoffs last year that'll make it.
Detroit Lions are going back to the playoffs.
I'm just gonna agree with you right off the rip, so everyone gets mine out the way too. They're going back to the playoffs.
And a team that made the playoffs last year is going to miss this year. Hold on.
I'll go ahead and also add to it. I also think that the Ravens are a team that missed the playoffs last year, and they will also make it this year.
Yes.
I think that a team that made it that'll miss it. I truthfully think that I like honestly, if you want me to keep it a bean, like I think it's going to be the Chargers. No, say what you got to say.
I've said it for.
All right, you have. Okay, I got you.
6 months almost.
Yeah, you're right.
That they're not going to make the playoffs.
Said, man, the Patriots is trash. I'm on board. I sent a tweet out the other day for you. Patriots is
and I think the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs this year.
Yep, agreed. And then an NBA team that exceeds expectations. I think that the team that's going to exceed expectations.
I guess it's the Los Angeles Lakers.
Easy work, bro. Easy work, bro.
A team in the NBA that will exceed my expectations.
Though, give me Washington. If they sign Anthony Davis, give me Washington.
If they don't win at least, I'm gonna be nice here. I'm gonna be extremely nice with this take.
5 seed or y'all, it's a bust.
My guy, if they don't win 40 games, blow up the franchise.
Send it somewhere else.
You've done too much. You've acquired too much talent. What are you doing?
Just give us Antoine Jameson Wizards. Give us Gilbert Arenas. Give us John Wall. Like, give us a 4 seed and just get blown out in the first round.
Swaggy P. Give us young Swaggy P.
Yeah, that's all I want from Washington. I like that's what I'm saying. I think they can exceed the expectation because the expectation at this point is that they're one of those teams that they're a flyover state, as Jason Aldean said.
Yeah,
they're a belt to ass team.
Give me a hot take. This is gonna be a hot take here. I think for some reason the Chicago Bulls exceed my expectations. Okay. I think they really have an opportunity to compete and at least be a play-in team.
I agree with that. I think they can be a play-in team, but I think that's where the expectation should lie. They've been one of those teams that's been for the last couple of years, but also I think a team that expectations will be high and they'll fail again is probably Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
I'm saying that before. I don't even know the rest of the moves, and I just think with Spider and James Harden, that it's just you're selling on me.
What if James goes back to Philly?
I don't care.
He's not doing that.
He's not. I truthfully just don't care. Like I think that in the NBA and the NFL right now, and I just think that people are too afraid to look at what's happening in the market. Right? Like I think people are so stuck on wanting to go to Blockbuster that they're fighting a battle against streaming. And it's just like, why are you fighting this battle? Because it's already here. You just don't want to. You want to look around to go find a Blockbuster and spend a ton of money on gas to do it when you could just turn your TV on and it's right there. And so I think teams are tricked into James Harden's and because their name is so big and they're going to sell a lot of tickets and people don't understand that, they truthfully buy into it without understanding. Like, no, bro, the reason you're buying into it is because you watch this dude cook. But when you watched him cook and you look at the last date that you watched him be at the prime or the top, it was 6 years ago, bruh. Yeah. It's like, yes, he can still be great for one night.
Yes.
He was great. He was great 7 nights of the week before. Now it's if the moon is a quarter and it's 82 degrees exact at kickoff, he's good. But if it ain't that, it's over with. Like James Harden does that. I think LeBron does that. Rodgers does that. Russell Wilson was doing that before. Phillip Rivers, all these teams that get tricked into all of these older guys and not going younger. When every time we see a new, like Isaiah, can you help me with this? Which dynasty has ever kicked off in what sport when a guy past his prime came?
came
Yeah.
a dynasty team? Never.
A dynasty. The closest, even in any sport that I can think of, is the NBA. Whenever Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce teamed up, and maybe they weren't washed, but it was real easy to look at them and say like y'all aren't the prime. Garnett was not T Wolves scaring the
No.
Lakers in the playoffs. Kevin Garnett, he was still a great defender and a great version of Kevin Garnett. He wasn't Kevin Garnett in Minnesota, and they won one title. If you want a dynasty for your team and your team is grabbing older guys, LeBron, Rod, like they're not going to build a dynasty.
Especially when they signed in 2007, the nucleus around them was young. So you had, hey PG, we need you to pop off for one night. Hey Ray, we need you to hit about 7 threes for a night. It was very balanced because Rondo was the perfect initiator. Big Baby was coming off the bench. Brandon Bass was hitting 15-foot middies like
Yeah, and you're
on
naming
Sean
your name like
Livingston
Brandon
clip.
Bass
Like,
wasn't even there when they won.
oh damn,
That's
he
the
wasn't?
Perk was a starter, KG was a starter, Paul, Ray, Rondo was before Rondo was even Rondo. Like that's people
Exactly.
yeah, they
had a
Leon
balance.
Poe and
Yeah.
Eddie House and like those were the vets. They were the ones that were hitting big shots, but like most of those guys moved on after they won that one championship and they didn't win again. That's why I'm like because how you have to structure your books when you bring in somebody old, you're paying them because of their name. They're going to help you sell tickets. So you're obviously going to give them that because they know that your sales are going to go through the roof, pay them their value. I always understand that. But these dynasties are not standing up with that. The Celtics, even though they were good from 08 until like, well, let's say like 11, it was only 3 years. I'm trying to be, if you're really trying to be good for 5 to 10 years to show the dominance of the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Bulls, the Lakers, those teams in sports, you're not doing that bringing somebody past his prime. You can bring somebody that just entered their prime, but you're not selling, your focal point can't be for a dynasty a guy that's passed. So like I don't understand why people are like, why are people upset that Rob Pelinka moved on from LeBron James? Why are like NFL fans so worried that like, oh, well, you have to go with Aaron Rodgers or you have to start Kirk Cousins or you have because you know these guys are so and it's like yeah, but at one
10
point,
years ago.
yeah, yes, that I just why are we waiting? Blu-ray is right there. It's like we have it at the house and you just don't want to use it. Why? Why are people so afraid? Isaiah, help me. Why?
Here's the biggest thing that you threw out. Eventually, they stopped making VHSs. Everything has to evolve. You have to get younger with certain things. So it's just like at one point, we're victims of it too, because it's the art of consumption. At one point, we were still buying CDs,
Facts.
and we don't do that no more.
Facts. And we were, yeah, like you said, we bought into it. And that's why I try to point it out to other sports fans. Like you said, when CDs phased out, we would still go be different and go to a store that sold CDs, even though they stopped making CD like in cars.
Yeah.
But we wanted them because that's what, and eventually we had to move over even if we didn't want to.
I know.
Because that's evolution.
The accessibility of those things diminished.
Yes. So sports fans, like you said, at one point CDs were expensive, and to get a CD put in your car was very expensive for the times. Now, if you go, it's expensive for a totally different reason because they're not accessible. They're not everywhere. It costs so much to even find one. It's the same thing. They're antiques. Their antiques are antiques because they're in antique stores. They used to be on every shelf. They're not. Bro, like, why is this? Why can nobody just look at it and just fuck Tom Brady? All you old motherfuckers that are able to win Super Bowls and championships, like y'all just ruin franchises because they just can't get over it, and it pisses me off.
You increased your value because you were still successful in your late 30s.
God, bro, and it's crazy too. Like, I will be on here for another 30 minutes if I keep going, but I gotta go. Isaiah, leave these listeners with something.
I'm glad that people were still able to tune in. We missed our running mate Cam. He's on vacation, but he will come back. Okay, he will come
Cameron
back.
big balling. Cameron went to Singapore, and then he flew from Singapore And then now he's going to the Virgin Islands. He balling,
Whatever,
if y'all
man.
didn't know.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So what? Anyway, we missed our running mate. I'm happy that he's on a little vacation with the fam. Shout outs to him. Maybe he'll actually get a little tan because we all know that that skin is pale. Um, glad,
Brother.
glad, glad everybody tuned in. We're just gonna keep doing this, man. We keep getting closer and closer to August, which means closer and closer to more NFL talks. So
Oh,
stay
it
with us.
starts. It starts, brother. Training camp. Steelers report on Tuesday, and their first practice is Wednesday. I
So we
can't wait.
so we getting active. UFC was a bit of a sleeper this week, though. But don't worry, we'll be back. Okay,
The motherfuckers
we
is
here.
snores fest. I've been looking at the cards. I appreciate everybody for listening, but we out
Oh,
this mug. Oh, go ahead.
one last thing. Shout out to Oklahoma City doing an incredibly good job with their card. I just wanted to point that out real quick.
Shout out, Dana. Dana, you should have next
Come
time.
back.
Dana, next time you went, okay, say, golly. Now he gonna hear that accent and be like, "Nah, I'm good." Dana, next time you went OKC, bro, hit us up. We'll come through. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you some publicity if you win the
And,
city.
and
Tap
get
in.
Jacoby Smith on a card immediately.
Yeah, facts.
We-
Fact.
we-
We'll sit
we
case
officially-
on some Theo Vaughn type stuff. Get there
Yeah.
before when y'all setting up. Just let us in. We'll go live, take some pictures, get lit, and it'll be a good
Yes,
night.
sir.
But we appreciate y'all.